talking with Alec at the break. I was like, there's no way they let this champion through. Well, they did. And we'll see if JDG want to go ahead and grab that one. But more importantly, not only to Rafa's happiness, but also to mine, we have a Shun Classic in the Nidalee. First pick. Give the guy the sticks. But he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders here.
I know Mark was casting yesterday, and so I think maybe he got scammed a little bit with some of the internet issues that we were having on the broadcast. Lenny, you want to take a break for this game real quick? You want to swap with him for the desk? All right, fair. I was trying to help my boy.
That's my boy, bro. I'm sorry. Both my boys, honestly.
Nidalee for Mark, Shun for you, but we'll see what this is paired up with. JDG have been looking to pair this up with another mage, so I am expecting to maybe get that Ziggs that we've been kind of talking about for Pays. And AD mid laners are going to be really important here, but already from Weibo, taking the Jax and Zyra, saying if you are going to play this Nidalee, you want to pair Earth and Renekton? Well, guess what? We're going to take that matchup, and you're kind of in a pretty good spot here. I wonder, now with Cassante and Ambessagon, what other AD top laners are going to be getting throughout the series? Now we're already getting that coming through.
Little thing I just want to say here, obviously I do not know what the team is thinking whatsoever, but they definitely went for something with the Shun Nocturne Orianna combo with Scout. Shun, maybe not the most proficient Nocturne, but I'm glad that they don't turn away from my boy. They still give him something that's going to give him a lot of power, but now it's the combination with Renekton that we need to say pulled off a little bit better than that Nocturne Orianna. Maybe a little bit easier to do that here, but the Lucian comes through for Weibo.
Are they going to go for the Lucian Nami? I think maybe
it's
setting
Lucian
up
mid.
Lucian mid can be here,
That's
especially if we're talking
classic.
about playing into some of the AD mid laners. Yone taken away for Weibo. I like the Leona on 3 from JDG. I think it gives them the ability to actually make a play onto this Zyra, and maybe that turns into something alongside this Nidalee. But JDG themselves not going for the Ashe. They don't know where this Lucian is, so they are fearing the flex potential there, and we still have stuff like Varus making it all the way through into the second phase of draft. Really interesting, as I think as we've gotten through the rest of the season anyway, Ashe and Varus have definitely fallen down.
Yeah, well, that in some cases, in a lot of cases, just never get to see the light of day.
Yeah.
And try to figure out what other pieces are strong right now. I do like that Victor ban just to take away any of those big potentials. If it is going to be a little bit of that flexibility with the Lucian in that regard. Xiaohu, a very famous Lucian for his top lane plays. But we'll see what the final ban is going to be here for JDG. I would love to see Pays still find a way to have an impactful pick in this one. I think it's going to be harder to find, but getting him set up for success has been a keepsake for JDG so far in the early parts of the season.
Yeah, Braum is available. I think maybe JDG are kind of leaning on them trying to see if JDG or Weibo will pick it. Honestly, I think if you want and you're trying to save this Lucian flex, go for Milio in this spot. Set up for trying to play against this Leona later on. It's going to be very difficult for Renekton to get into your back line. And then if you say, look, Lucian Milio is not the bot lane pair we want to play, we can swap it up and even take away something like the Ziggs. I thought the Ziggs would be going over to JDG, but Lai picked this up immediately.
He did, bringing back some machinations of 2024 here. We'll see what the response is going to be. Typically, you want something with range. I would honestly love to see a Caitlyn or something. I know Caitlyn's literally god-awful right now, but still, could be fun. They do go with the big Wombo combo, though, so giving themselves multiple avenues forward with the way they can play their comp here.
What's the AD mid here for Jace, though? Unless we're picking a mage alongside the Nidalee. We want pick potential. We want to be able to try to outrange, but hey, it's good into someone like the Zyra. Into Ziggs, I think you're playing a bit of a risky game here. So Scout on the way has a bit more support potential there as being able to empower the rest of his team.
Oh, this would be so banger. If I'm a JDG fan, I am terrified right now, but I would love to see it for Weibo. We'll see what they end up getting. I think they need a little bit more coherency with their team composition, maybe something to light a fire under them, and there you go. It's the Pike to get those Kindles burning here, and what a comp from Weibo. Not only do we get a Xiaohu top lane classic in the Lucian, also mid lane, but it's going to be into Scout's way, into Shun on his Nidalee.
so many different aspects here. For Weibo, having to play on multiple side lanes very quickly is going to be name of the game. You're going to be able to sit light in the mid game, and then just have Hung with the Tian either take control of the river or just immediately run into a side lane, especially this Pyke. I think the laning phase is still going to be pretty difficult. If they find an entrance onto Pays, maybe there's some action there, but Misfortune is a very dominant laner, and we'll see what JDG are able to accomplish here, as I think you look at their team comp, and like you said, it is that wombo.
Oh, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Before we get into that, though, obviously we gotta talk about something here. We're extremely grateful to our Coffee and YouTube subscribers who help us level up the show. You get to see all this fun.
Oh no, we lost audio! Oh, it's playing us.
Bit in this case, a point of pressure on them as they load into map 2. Map 1 didn't go very well for them, but this is first or second seed deciding matchup in a best of 5 fearless as we hear the Jaios in Beijing go loud.
Keep fighting, boys. I wanted to hear more of that. I know it was
my favorite
big
part.
Draws. Glad we get the fan mics kind of piped in there. Unfortunately, Lennon, we had a bit of a production oopsie. Our entire scene was muted while we were talking about the coffee, but we have a Doinb interview coming out. If you want to get questions for interviews like our Doinb interview, make sure that you're getting onto that coffee and getting early access to some content.
Yeah, it goes a long way to support what we're doing, and we love what we do, but your support makes it that much sweeter. So really, really thankful. And please go check out our interviews. They've been so awesome. I love that LPL players are so willing to try to get some info out to the Western.
Thank you, Patty,
Shoto.
JDG win, maybe we
if JDG, we might have another one, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Anyways, JDG going for early pressure here in this level 1. They go for the chicky nuggies for Shun. Xiaohu has moved over. Missing, getting low, gets hit back, and Hung gets first blood for Weibo.
This was the level 1 that I kind of wanted to see from Weibo. How aggressive were we going to be looking? And Missing walks forward. Missing now no longer has the Ignite, but Hung uses both summoner spells to make sure that they get the early level 1. I don't know how much this is really going to affect Pays in the early laning phase. Misfortune still has a lot of damage, and now that you're missing out on some of those summoner spells, I think Weibo's bot lane are going to be just a little bit neutered in the early game.
I'm honestly surprised they went for that play. I mean, maybe you just try to go for something a little bit more aggressive, but Zyra is not very kind to Cougars in her jungle, as we'll see if that actually ends up being anything. We did have that kind of double lane swap from both teams, so we'll just see, as junglers will be pathing down towards bot side if we get any stop-offs.
I think that the idea of the play is sound, right? Like, you're waiting to try to get rid of Zyra's setup. Light getting some chip damage alongside his support onto someone like Missing, who I don't know how much experience. It seems like he didn't miss any of the experience from the lane, so it's okay. Happens to all of us. You get a couple.
Doesn't matter. You got first blood. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, got the first blood. Still have to get 2 more kills. Remember, first blood is not as valuable as it used to be with the feat of strength changes. They did take that out of the game, so it's first to 3 that are going to be a really big key point for JDG and Weibo.
But honestly, like, if you're seeing Pikes get kills early, that's a little bit scary, as this champion definitely wants to snowball and get active onto the map. It's so funny, though. I love to see Light picking up the Ziggs. I know we were talking about JDG maybe wanting that one, as he's putting down some serious damage. He was one of the better Ziggs in 2024, right behind Gala, it felt like, in a lot of those situations. It's nice to see him pick that one up, but also stealing it away from JDG.
And with our junglers here, I mean, Tian goes back towards the top side of the map. Oh, Missing, gotta be real careful. Level 3, and it's that Hail of Blades proc, I think, can get very spicy, but the minion wave is in a pretty tough spot, and without Ignite,
He got a lot of damage on him. He already burned the barrier, but the nice little CC combo. Tries to get the stun. Gets onto light. Here comes Tian, though. Look at him. He's waiting for the grasping roots. He gets him. Is the hook. It's not going to be long enough. Missing. Oh, fighting the plants. One more auto attack. He's burning. He's burning. He's burning. Tian on fire as he's got the red. He's looking for more. Flash.
Oh, Tian!
And Tian is on one right now.
Open up the game. We get the first 3 kills in 4 minutes, and it's on Tian with this Zyra. 2-0-1. We have 2 of our AP farming junglers, and now off to an accelerated start here for Weibo Gaming. What an insane play. Now, I mean, great trading coming out from this Pyke and the Ziggs, but missing just taking... This is the most unfortunate missing game we're probably going to be able to see in the early start of the season. And now there's no summoner spells for JDG's bot lane.
Predict, man. Oh, he's too damn good, Alk. He's too damn good.
I don't think I can... there's nothing I can say against the Tian propaganda. He's playing well. You know, I was wondering what Tian was going to look like coming off of a year on TES, and I love that this time around he has someone like Xiaohu who... Surprisingly enough, I feel like they really complement each other. It seems like Xiaohu feels like he really wants to jump in with his jungler, and Weibo, compared to the last couple of years, feel like they actually are willing to do things in the early game.
And the thing people maybe forget, I mean, Tian was literally the MVP just this last summer. It was an incredible performance from him on top esports, and a lot of the reason why they were finding so much success in their run. And it's nice to see a little bit of that shade of him on Weibo here and a lot of the control that he's been able to provide. I mean, that last game was insane from him as well on the bye. As Hung really getting caught out a little bit as he walks back into lane. Nothing else there, but objectives are on the map here, Alk. We'll see where their priorities lie.
So Tian could have started at this dragon, but it looks like they want to try to get some early grubs. Rightfully so for Weibo. You are playing a team with a Ziggs, so it makes sense. Missing no longer has a Zenith blade, so maybe they try to make a play off of this, but you see Weibo putting 2 people in mid, they push out the wave.
Oh,
Scout's not going to be here. He has
JDG is in a lot of trouble. Xiaohu did just perm the culling. They're trying to get damage onto Tian. He's got that spiraling despair. He does go down, but Missing's getting low as well. Nice little Sun CC onto Xiaohu. Xiaohu down by Scout. Scout has been just here picking him off as Shun makes it out through the jungle. And you can't follow the Cougar to the jungle, but maybe Hung wants to try. Light looking for an angle there as well. Does not have that level 6 just yet. Shun moves around the corner. He's prowling around, but I think Hung's got a little bit more movement speed. Jumps over the wall. Hung's gonna go ahead and flash. This one's personal, but as Hung's just trying to get some damage onto him, he can't get over the wall. He's gonna chase him now. Shun heals up with the Primal Surge, and Hung gives up his chase. What insanity has ensued as everybody's back to this fight, and Grub's round 2 is online.
Tian is up and available. Our top laners do have teleport, and Breeze will be in an advantage spot. He's pushing out this bottom wave, can end up matching if they try to fight again for these grubs. JDG were to at least secure the first one, and we'll see if the rest of Weibo are going to be giving this up. Tian had enough time to make it back into this side of the map, but he has too many camps back up. I think this is going to be just JDG picking up the first set.
I thought we were watching an arm wrestling match. Where's Kangas when you need him, man? They were just fighting tooth and nail over these first 3 grubs. We're going to take a look back.
I mean, the unfortunate thing for Weibo is this engage does end up going down onto Tian. So much damage coming in from Scout, and while Shun is able to pick up the last part of the kill with the spear, Xiaohu just had no mana in this fight. So while they did get mid priority, came at a cost, and losing out on your mid laner, some important summoner spells for me is this flash from Xiaohu no longer there, and maybe if they make a play towards mid, that's something that they could be looking for.
Little bit of state of the game here. There's still the dragon up on the table. Biggest thing right now is Weibo have 3 kills on Hung. We need to see that propelled forward here. This pick can get so snowbally, but you have to utilize it correctly. How do we feel about the compositions coming to strength on first items here, Alk?
I would like to see what JDG are able to do on that first item. I think while someone like Scout or even Shun may not have it, you're looking at this Renekton with a Black Cleaver early on, the amount of HP that it gives you, and a Bloodthirster for Paze is going to mean that he's very untouchable in some fights. But I think the items are a little bit less important when we talk about the utility of some of these champions, and I don't know, this Zyra and Pike combo seems really deadly. I'm getting, it's just call it a gut feeling, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Do we feel like top laner is gonna have the same influence that they did last game this time around? I don't know if they have the auto win buttons anymore.
Yeah, Jax has a more primordial version of a public execution. He has the leap strike. I walk up, I press Q on you. Very advanced technique coming in from our Grandmaster at Arms, but I think our top laners are mostly going to be focused on our side lane and making sure that they're able to prep waves as they move in towards objectives. And we'll see if JDG fall prey yet again to another game where they're starting up team fights and someone's catching or pushing a wave. That has always been, I think, a big criticism so far in this early season.
Weibo gonna look to secure that dragon. They get themselves ever closer to the feat of strength. But right now, as well, we got to talk about what kind of impact Xiaohu plans to have on this Lucian mid. I know they needed AD damage, but this is not a pick that you like to play from behind in a lot of cases.
Is this Blade of the Ruin King? No, so that's a Rectrix, so... What is he built? I'm trying to figure out what builds out of Rectrix and Bow. Is he going like... I hope this is not Blade of the Ruin King. No, so it's probably either Static Shiv or Kraken Slayer. Yuck. Ew.
let the man cook. Let the man cook, all right?
Kraken
Give him
I
the
mean,
benefit
sure,
of the
man.
doubt.
They did buff this item. Sure, man. Whatever. We'll get our mid lane enthusiasts. I'm sure Bradley and Tristan played their share of
They're
Lucian
either maulding or very happy. One of the two. Can be not.
Maybe. We do have, I think, the grubs really importantly coming up in a minute, and while JDG obviously can be playing for a set where they get the Void Mites, any amount of turret damage you're able to enhance for someone like a Ziggs who really hasn't been able to get all that much done. The turret plates have not really been in their favor. We're kind of staying with these Australian lanes here as our bottom lane pair just constantly are repeatedly going towards the top side.
It's got to be a little bit of a peekaboo by Tian down this bot lane with Ala and Breathe. Just showing him there means that a little bit of information goes the way of JDG. Resets coming out towards this top side of the map for this grub fight. It would just be another marker into the stacking of JDG's feats of strength. But if Weibo can hold them off and not let them get another 6 grubs, even though it didn't really matter in that game 1, I think that's huge for this team comp.
Look at what Weibo are doing. Take control of mid with your marksman here. Sit with Tian. Make sure that he's able to set up space for the Zyra. Missing
going
though.
for the flash. Zenith Blade hits. The flash from Xiaohu. Spiraling Despair has hit, but Missing is going down first. No, Sun gets the kill onto Xiaohu. A Cougar versus a Tiger, and the Cougar comes out on top. Scout's able to space so much in front of Weibo, and now Pays is over here, but Pays is in a weird spot. Pays is trying to make his way out of this one now, but
Hell
he's
yeah,
just
brother.
a little misfortune. Flashes straight in. Oh my God, Pays! I don't ever want to see that again. As Scout is now getting in a lot of trouble here, but he should make his way out.
Shun has been playing these fights so well, but the rest of the team is not able to get it on altogether. They pick out onto Xiaohu, but the picks coming in from Hung, and I mean, what is Pace doing in that position? He's 0-3 now on this Misfortune. He's one of the big pieces to your Wombo.
Oh, he almost got the Severing Bolt
so
there on the Hung.
Close.
They actually can't finish the grub. I cannot believe that. So they stopped them from getting a piece of the feats of strength there by getting their 4th grub and that increase.
Great job from Ala during all of this to get that bottom tier 1, which does open up a feat of strength for themselves. We're going to be looking at these epic monsters as we go further. Great engage coming in from Missing. He flashes forward, and while he doesn't get the Q down onto Tian,
Dude,
this is
huge.
literally so clutch onto Xiaohu. It gets the flash out from the Lucian, and also Tian here with his ultimate, not really empowering many of his plans, and not really getting a lot of value onto the enemies as well. So small bits of mis-execution.
I just don't understand.
Pays, there's no one here to set up. Your strut is already being taken down thanks to the burn passive, and then the flash, mighty unfortunate.
And then it's just an entire mess up of series. You know, sometimes when you play against Pyke, you didn't respect his game, and I think that's what happened there. But we'll see once we get those first items for Pays and Light, respectively, how much impact they can have. But right now, Weibo are thriving on these in-between moments.
And it's weird because they're down in gold, right?
They are.
7-3, and we're looking at it, we're like, okay, we got all the grubs, but there's a massive gold lead here for Allah, which is surprising considering how much fighting has been going around, you know, around our bot lane duo, around this mid lane. Allah has been secretly, quietly amassing almost a 1,500 gold.
Yeah, this guy is such an unsung hero in the LPL. A lot of people look back to his recent tenure on EDG and maybe look down on that. There was
Look what
a lot
he did
of
on
stuff
AL,
going.
right?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's like you forget that this guy will warp a game. Now Weibo looking to collapse and warp the game onto JDG. Maybe take the lead here as Missing is completely CC'd out. Reed goes for the counter-strike. Nice solar flare.
Oh, they found
my
him!
God, they got him! Like it's caught out just like Pays did. And here goes the Zenith Blade. Although Missing is going down, he will be joined by the entirety of Weibo as now Allah with his big strong croc going for the kills. Tian is getting a little bit of love from Sun here. He's being chased down now as well. He can't hit a hook. It doesn't matter. You get the point-blank scout flash if you take him down anyways.
Shun with a triple kill on this Nidalee. JDG are fighting back in this game. There's 3,000 gold immediately from that play. Pays resets, uses strut, walks into mid. They get a mid-tier 1 as well. JDG are playing really well with their resets. And they have so much damage. I mean, Shun in this Nidalee, not to be underestimated. He has been so fantastic. Feels like one of those pocket picks alongside his Kindred that he's really been able to have great success on. Especially early this year. He's been an early adopter to the Nidalee. And he's kind of putting hands on this game.
Hey, what a redemption game. I mean, that Nocturne game, I don't know if, like, there was a couple things
okay,
that could
half
have
of
gone
it was
right.
his fault,
a lot
half
of
was
wasn't
his
his
mid laner,
fault. Yeah, but the redemption game, the confidence to stick. I mean, there's a reason why JDG replaced Kanavi, of all people, with Sun. And the fact that we actually get to see him have a massive advantage on this Nidalee is so huge.
I think this TP, especially coming in from Allah, the fact that that lands, that stun, I thought, especially for Light, that looks like just a slow from Leona ult. Also gets his flash. Allah makes a great flank. He's able to get in on the back end of this fight. I think Scout and Shun are definitely playing a lot better. I think there's more combos landing from especially Scout. And we'll see how that goes throughout the game. It's 7-8 and...
Oh, Missing in trouble here. He goes with the panic Zenith Blade out and then into the solar
Oh
flares.
God,
Now
okay,
that's Hung missing
okay,
everything,
all right,
and
guys.
so is Weibo. Although
more.
Scout looking for an angle now. There's a huge spear from Shun. Shun goes for the execution. Can't get it. Severing Bolt's going to go wide too. Shun goes for another spear. Gets everything used on him, but Tian's going down. Spiraling Despair is going to kill them, and Scout is turning on the lights right when he needs to. JDG have found their fights, and they're finding wins across the map.
Weibo have no one that is tanky enough to be able to kind of get onto that back line, and while the pick from Pyke is good, it's just too situational, and then who's following up afterwards? It's all about the one-hit wonders for Weibo. 4,000 gold lead. They're going to win this game, Lennon, with 0-8 bot lane at 17 minutes.
That's crazy. That
AD
is
carries a
wild.
very influential role.
But what a turnaround from these two guys. I mean, these were the two worst performers in game number 1 in Shun and Scout, it felt like. And now both of them 4-0-4 having a performance like this to bring it back into the fold.
This feels like that hot and cold nature we've been talking about here for JDG. I'm going to just pretend everybody at home, for the safety of children and everybody alike, look away from the skill shots. The skill shots were difficult, except for
that one.
Our darling Shun. We can't talk bad about this guy. Not with you on the broadcast anyway.
True.
Leadership position.
Oh.
And we're going to speak too badly about our goat here.
We're actually watching Tian go down. Oh, and the spear. Another one. They're just going to follow him under turret. A double kill comes up for Scout, and JDG are running rampant on this game too.
You remember how this game started off with Tian getting an early lead, getting 2-0-1 on the Zyra? That should have just been the game. That should have been Zyra being able to run away with a gold lead, but Weibo have no front line. They have no ability to actually turn fights, and so far Tian, outside of the early game, has really not been able to kind of apply a lot of the early practice of this Zyra. We're not seeing the empowerment of the plants. We're not seeing that setup before objectives. JDG are raising the map. In an 18.5 minutes, in the last 6 or so, they're now almost 10,000 gold in advantage.
And I'm going to ask you straight up, do you remember that Shun was the piece to BLG that got them helped over into the finals? Yes, they lost, but this guy has been building up his story, claiming championship for BLG, and now replacing the legendary Kanavi with JDG, and this is the kind of performance that you pick this guy up for. There are some downs parts to his trajectory in a lot of cases, but man, when he is on one, he will hands check you. And I love to see that. Now, against Tian, needs to make sure to hammer that one home as Dragon is going through for Weibo. This will be second for them in a row. JDG want to fight.
Allah has a big flank. They're even investing another teleport here, and Light's going to have
God.
to walk through here. Where's Breathe?
Like fish in a barrel. Do they get out? Xiaohu flashes. The blast code is gone. Hung gets a hit, but he's not going down, and Weibo just make out like bandits.
Triple flashes, though. I don't know. Those are some pretty poor bandits here. Missing just walks forward. He has the Eclipse. He does not care. I'm playing Leona. When I press W, the next 3 seconds, I am unkillable. Breathe is going to try and get some damage onto this top tier 1, but it comes at such a big cost. Yes, it's a top tier 1. It's a Dragon. Maybe it's some of the bounties around the map, but triple flash when you're playing against, or sorry, double flash from Xiaohu and Hung when you're playing against Leona, tough ask.
I mean, it's just wild to see this mid-jungle duo at 100% KP in the game so far. And Scout going to continue to aggress onto Breathe up here. Shun also coming over, but gets caught as Xiaohu and Tian came up behind him. Olive's just killing him outright.
Yep.
Okay, Breathe no longer having arms to be the master at arms as Missing gets hit. That's Tian going down. The execution finally comes through. Hung gets one, and that may be all they can write home about as Pays coming around the corner. Severing Bolt is hit. All that nostalgia from the Xiaohu Lucian dies with him.
7,000 gold. Gonna be 8 now with this turret. 21 minutes. This is a blisteringly fast game being played here by JDG. They're playing it a little bit loose, but they're just playing around good shutdowns and their ability usage as well, which has been so smart and so well placed coming in from JDG. I feel like kind of alongside the lines that we've been talking about of the hot and cold nature of this team, there's also just how fast some of their wins can be, especially when we're talking about like the Ultra Prime series. JDG were taking real fast wins there.
And that's the high highs that you can expect from a powerful roster. Okay, I was about to freak out as he stole
Your
those.
boy was about to get put on a poster, man!
Anyways, that's what you expect when you see these names on a team, and that's why that early Demacia Cup start, even the start against Ultra Prime, things like that, did not give us any hope or much hope. But then you see moments like this, and you're like, dude, this is insanity. You are dismantling this team piece by piece.
If there's ever like a pro view that we can grab, in terms of review for this game, I just want to see what happens between Ala and Breathe. I feel like we spent a lot of time focusing on our bottom lane, but I want to see where he was able to gain such a massive lead for himself and just be this annoying Renekton. We talked about it from the draft. I thought that some of the melee champions were going to have some issues, especially with the Ziggs and the Zyra, but Ala feels quite at home in this game, and he has now, I think, reached a point in the game now with the Hysterics as well, with the upgraded Merc Treads. He is near unkillable. Scout, that's okay. I'm going to just pretend that got taken with the Otacon buff.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. So
Happens.
you get a free pass at any level of gameplay if you have Atacon GA on you. Don't worry. You can miss every ability. It doesn't matter.
Just let Shun carry you this game, bro. That's okay. Look, happens. Sometimes the jungles carry.
What a world we're in that we could say that and state it factually as now the dive comes through. Big bullet time on the Hung. Catches him as he's slipping out. And now Breathe getting jumped on. Does go with the counter-strike, but shit is right behind him.
Where are we?
They still have the GAs, and they are just running down the base. Scout is actually dying in mid lane a little bit to Light, but he will be able to clear that wave a little bit. Xiaohu got a tier 2 turret in the top lane. Is it going to be enough, or is it just pity prizes?
4 grubs as well. I was like, guys, yes, we have the Otacon, but we're having quite a bit of ways under their turret. We're hitting we're like next to their Nexus for some reason. They can make a play maybe onto mid, but instead they're going to take their recalls, try to spend some of that gold here. And it feels so bad because, yes, they are getting some more turrets. They're extending the side lanes, but it's mostly just to get that instantaneous influx of gold so they can get closer to some of their item breakpoints. You look at what's happening with Scout. Scout's very close to hitting his 3rd item in a Rabadon's. Xiaohu just finished an Essence Reaver. I think the items that we see in inventory right now for Weibo are going to be what they need to use if they want to mount a comeback. It's 8,000, almost 9,000 gold, and really the only thing I think they have going for them is the dragon stacking that is there.
Which, to be fair, has been really nice for them, obviously. But I don't think it matters in a lot of grand scheme of things. Who's missing is just walking at people.
Tian,
Now just going for the solar cloud. Tian, he gets locked out again. And the light is too bright for Tian as he falls.
Turn off those lights. They're too bright. I can't see, guys.
Leona knows nothing but brightness. Don't worry.
Yeah. Baron spawning in 50. Dragon's done. I mean, honestly, Len, this game looks about cooked here for Weibo. Such a strong showing in game 1 from them, and then this game 2 kind of feels like a sucker punch coming in from JDG as... Oh, breathe. Also has Grandmaster's Might.
Does a lot. He's going to try to jump his way out. Unfortunately, there's a cougar behind him. And one thing that you should know, if you're ever wandering out in the wild, don't turn your back to a cougar. That's literally what they're waiting for you to do, and they will maul you to death. So there you go. There's an example of...
I would never follow that, but I think we're talking about different things, so I'm going to move on to the dragon that JDG are making for themselves. Like, they can just do whatever they want on the map right now. Like, there's not really much that Weibo can do. They're looking around what Hung can find, but what's your sense of engage here? We're going into Fog of War, and we're getting Zyra. And if Hung finds anybody, mostly it's been landing onto someone like Allah or Missing. I just don't know if they have the damage, even if they do find one of the squishier members.
I am, though, hesitant to say that JDG can clean this one up, or at least finish this one cleanly, as they have had struggles with that in the past. That's why we lauded Weibo for a lot of their later game decision-making, and especially that last game representing some bad decision-making from JDG. But they are in a massive lead. Almost 10,000 gold now. And I just want to see them clean this one up. As Allah is in the side lane. Does have his GA 3rd item, by the way. Very popular among JDG players today. Hung is in no man's land. And surrounded by enemies. He's going to walk straight into Shun. Gets the Severing Bolt. Shun misses the spear, but trying to follow through on this one. Can't do it. Hung is a little bit too fast.
They can also start up the Baron. Think about it with this Nidalee as well, and now with Misfortune after clearing this mid-wave. It's going to be up to Light. We have no Farsight alteration, so going to just have to throw the Ziggs Bomb. Hung trying to get some early vision here, but it's so tough walking in the Fog of War versus this team.
Lob it. Oh, they're not even going to try to finish it. Missing going to go across now as JDG to turn back on it. Breeze coming down, Hung with an angle. Light looking for a little bit of vision, maybe looking for the Mega Inferno Bomb. Allah just goes in for the fight. Hung is already dead. That's a 1v3 still going down the way of Allah. He's looking for another one. Hasn't even gotten his GA pop. Finally does. Xiaohu's down. The steal doesn't come through for Weibo. And now Allah trying to find his ticket out. Will be jumped on by Breathe, who's trying to take him down, get a massive amount of gold, but Breathe can't do it. He gets taken down by Shun, and JDG are giving Weibo a little bit of their own medicine from that game 1 as Light is down, Tian is down, TP's in the base, and JDG are finished with this game 2.
They said game 1 was a fluke, 23-9. Last game was a much closer affair. This time, JDG don't even make it look close between these two teams. Great job, Hung. You got yourself a kill, but you're the most fed member on the team. Your Nexus has exploded, brother.
Unkilled mid-jungle duo, close kill percentage for the entire game. These two turned it on, and that is the kind of stuff you expect from JDG. That first game, it's a rough one, but when you can bounce back like that, these are the high highs.
Insane stuff, and I want to see what JDG are going to be able to do on the bounce back after this because of the champions that are taken away, right? There's no Renekton between these two top laners. I think the big one now is Nidalee. Those splash picks that we were seeing, what is Shun going to look like on some different champions? We still have a lot of the AD bruisers.
True. I got to give a massive shout out to Shun, though. I mean, the difference from game 1 to game 2, they still give confidence to him against Tian, of all people. Awesome to see. Our desk